Here is a picture of a rainbow lorikeet. A few years back, Uncle Ronald bred with rainbow lorikeets. Would breed them and he would sell them. So there's something new that you now learned about Uncle Ronald just by looking at this picture. And last week we started by saying that Jesus said that as you look at the 10 Commandments, you learn more about Him, who He is. And the first commandment said, there's only one God. There's only one God, and Jesus must be worshipped. The second commandment said that you may not bow or may not make an idol for yourself that you worship. The third commandment says that you may not misuse the name of God. The fourth commandment said that in 6 days you must work and the seventh you must rest. And the fifth commandment was honor your father and your mother. So now, today we will go on with the last 5. God made each one of us very special, and He gave us power. But sometimes we want to use this power to hurt other people by doing things to them that hurts them, or even saying and thinking things that hurt them. But the sixth commandment says that we may not murder, we may not kill another person. It also means that you may not say things to other people that hurt them or think nasty things about them. Because Jesus came to this earth to show that He loves us, that He cares about us, that He wants the best for us. Here is 5 fingers and here is 2 fingers, and that makes 7. And the 7th commandment, God says that He's got a special plan for a husband and a wife, and that they belong to each other. That's why when Potiphar's wife came to Joseph and said, come and sleep with me, he said, no, I can't do that, because you belong to your husband. And how can I sin against God? Because if a man treats more than one woman like a wife, or a woman treats more than one man like a husband, then that is wrong. Because God calls it adultery. And the 7th commandment says, you shall not commit adultery. Because Jesus loves us with a faithful, loyal love. What is these 3 fingers trying to do with the 5 fingers? Yes, it's trying to steal something from the 5 fingers. And the 8th commandment says, you may not steal. You may not take things that doesn't belong to you. You may not steal. Because Jesus didn't come to steal, but He came to do what is best for us. Now the 9th commandment says, you shall not give false testimony. Now what does false testimony mean? Well, say you're in school and you're going to get some treats, and each one is going to get 4 chocolates. And the teacher says you may only take 4 chocolates, and you decide, but you're going to get Jacob into trouble. And you call out to the teacher and say, teacher, Jacob took 5 pieces of chocolate, even though that's not what happened. Then you're giving false testimony. Or maybe you did something and then you say, no, I didn't do it, but that person did it. That's a false testimony. It is like you are lying. You're not telling the truth. But Jesus is different because He always told the truth. He said, I am the truth. Now some people just want to grab everything for themselves. Coveting means that you want something that belongs to another person. And God said, you shall not want what belongs to other people, because Jesus said He will provide our needs. Don't be greedy. So boys and girls, in these 10 commandments, we saw a picture of who Jesus is. And you say, Uncle Ronald, but it is so difficult to be like Jesus. Well, God made a promise and He said that He will put the law, His laws in our hearts. And He will give us the strength, and He will give us the courage, and He will change us so that we can become more and more like Jesus.